What's up guys, welcome back to the channel for the long-awaited episode 4 on the custom operator series. The response in the last few videos was incredible, and we quickly surpassed 100 subscribers and then 200 not even the day after. I won't yap much longer, but I just wanted to say thank you all so much for your continued support. Also join up on the Discord so you can share some operator ideas of your own, and I might just feature a few of them in a future video, all credit due of course. Last time I left you with our two operators from Greece, Atlas and Nyx. In descending order from the poll that was taken just last week, Iceland is up next, followed by Saudi Arabia and then Bangladesh. As always, I do appreciate your time, so I will yap no further. Let's get right into Operation Frigid Dusk. Featuring two brand new operators from the northern stronghold of Iceland, Operation Frigid Dusk brings our attacker, Var, and our defender, Haldur. Both of these operators align with Nighthaven this time, as we haven't had some Nighthaven love in-game for a while. Both of their gadgets actually started as buffs for specific characters, but became something of their own after some special tweaks. I wonder if you can guess which operators they were originally buffs for. Enough of that. On to our 3-speed 1-armor attacker, Var. Let me ask you, have you ever smoked off a plant spot only to get C4'd? Now, as much as I like this dynamic in the game, I often find that this stratagem of smoke, bait plant, C4 has been around practically since the game launched, and it does get really stale. So just as I advocate for Tubarão never to be nerfed, except for in the 1.5 DMR category, Ubisoft, please just tone down his DMR and keep his gadgets strong. I think adding new dynamics to existing strategies is exactly what the game needs to expand its horizons and keep its player base fresh and satisfied. So, what does Var actually do, you might be asking? Meet Snore. Var can throw 2 to 3 of these mechanical canisters that are filled with a condensing gas that explodes in an opaque white cloud and freezes anything that steps inside or flies through it. To put it simply, this white-colored smoke damages defenders who try to move through it, and briefly freezes any electrical gadgets that are thrown through it or inside it, much like how Tubarão's gadget works. Including, importantly, the friendly fire mechanic. Now you can shoot through it, however the density and the thermal properties of the gas does reduce bullet damage on the other side. This basically creates a brief environment in which, as long as you have backup, it's completely safe to plant under certain circumstances. But I hear you say, oh dear viewer base, this gadget is completely broken and breaks the boring dynamic of the game that has existed for 9 years. And while I completely agree with that point, there are some caveats to it. See, after the gadget is thrown, it sticks to a surface and then has to be shot to activate, similar to Goyo's canisters, but instead of fire, it's ice. This basically means that Var requires the site she intends to plant on to be clear enough to face check her own mines in order to throw them and then detonate them. This also means that mines are not a meaningful contender to frag grenades. Why shoot the mine when you can wait to shoot your enemy? However, they can be used for flank prevention similar to Grim, but clearly don't excel in that category as she gets much fewer uses. Speaking of fire previously, the gas is so cold that it does not allow anything to ignite in its vicinity, other than mechanical explosives, which are no match, namely the impact grenades, or the hard counter. One simple impact grenade will swiftly explode and dissipate the smoke, completely eliminating it after a second or two. Onto Var's loadout. Now, since her gadget is extremely powerful and meta-breaking, I wanted to give her a loadout that isn't, while still complementing her playstyle. We start with the M870 shotgun, a weapon great for if any defenders decide to get too close, as well as the ballistic shield. Knowing that shields are getting a big rework soon, and that Var is a plant specialist, I feel this fits her kit perfectly. And yes, she has no rifle primaries. For her secondary, I wanted to cut her some slack with the RG-15, one of the 2 pistols in the game that has a red dot sight. I feel having this pistol on a shotgun/shield operator is a missed opportunity that I won't let go to waste. For secondary gadgets, we have the breeze charge, so she can open up soft floors and walls to supplement plant executions, and frag grenades. as they're the other mechanical explosive in the game that her own gadget wouldn't counter. I feel VAR shakes up the meta in a way that forces players new and old to rethink their strategies with new operator lineups and refreshed creativity. It's time to introduce our 3-speed, 1-armored defender, Haldor, who brings with him a gadget that shakes up the intel and area denial meta. Now, to preface, currently area denial in Siege comes in 2 forms, damage and the aforementioned intel. Or rather, the fear of intel. When walking into a room as an attacker, one of the first things you do, besides droning said room, is looking around for cameras and then shooting said cameras. Intel is a strong, if subversive, fashion of area denial, as knowing exactly where someone is can quickly lead to a one gunfight. So how do we make an intel-focused area denial operator that doesn't require the use of a camera system? Pulse. But we already have Pulse, so let's make it a trap. Wait, that's proximity alarms. Okay, let's make it a super proximity alarm / alibi clone hybrid. Yes, you heard me right. Haldor has a gadget he calls the Pandora's Box. Placed only on floors, this gadget is a large electrical device that makes the room visibly cold and frosty, much like we see on Yacht. When an attacker steps into the room, they are made aware of the danger by an indicator much like any other, and they can see their own breath. While inside the room, the attacker will be repeatedly alibi pinged once every second. This gadget basically creates a sort of passive intel area denial that can cut off an entire room unless it is dealt with before entry. Notably for this reason, this gadget cannot be placed directly on site. Now, this room can still be walked through with no harm, but the danger of defenders lurking nearby, knowing exactly where you entered and subsequently exited the room, will weigh heavy on your shoulders. As this gadget is electrical, it can be hacked, EMP'd, and disabled, but cannot be shot. It requires the use of soft breach utility to clear, like grenades, Gon6, or any other explosives. Now, you might be asking as a defender, why not just hide within the room, the same room as the Pandora's Box? Well, that is a great idea. However, you may have to consider that the Pandora's Box encourages attacker droning and room clearing, so it might be better for you to play off the utility in an adjacent room instead. Editing 43 here. I just had a small idea while editing this video. Another way to balance this gadget out would be to have it self-disable when detecting a friendly within the room. So if you are Haldor and you place your gadget within a room, you can't hide in that room and still get the gadget's effect, because it'll disable because it detects you or any other defenders are within the room, and therefore turns itself off to protect you from pinging you or pinging a defender. Anyway, so yeah, enjoy the video. Now, I feel this is pretty strong, so I only gave Haldor 2 of these as their area of effect is massive and effective. Onto his loadout, I had a similar rhetoric to our attacker and her strong gadget. Haldor's loadout is strong, but not insane for a defender. Jubro. He has the 612 shotgun or Ying's shotgun to do some vertical on his utility, or the UMP-45, the SWAT SMG, which is a totally solid but typically underperforming primary. I'm a little on the fence whether it should get a 1.5 or not, but that's a balancing thing, and I'm a YouTuber, so what the hell do I really know? For secondaries, I gave him the Q929 or the Hong Kong police pistol, just a solid option all around. For secondary gadgets, however, is where Haldor definitely shines, starting with the Nitro Cell for the same reason Pulse has it, and the Observation Blocker to make the Pandora's Box rooms even harder to clear. I feel Haldor is an extremely viable ult pick to defenders like Pulse, Alibi, and Valkyrie, while still having significant drawbacks like his high armor rating and his gadget's lack of stealth. Alright, that's it for one of the most complex operations I've ever put together. Once again, join up on that Discord and share those ideas of your own. Some of you had some fantastic ones, and I can't wait to see more. Hit the like, tap that subscribe if you're hungry for more, and comment your thoughts down below. That's all from me for this one. Thanks again for your time, and as always, I'll see you on the flip side.